Have you ever felt there's a massive gap between where you are and where you want to be? This year was a year of massive change for me, and I feel like I rode that gap for most of the year. Some years feel like you are just putting one foot in front of the other, and this year was not one of those for me. I started the year burned out and exhausted from my high-stress tech industry job and ended it as a full-time artist, having found my way back to my sculpture and installation practice. This video is a reflection on that journey of giving myself the time and space I needed to rediscover who I was as an artist. And as a thank you for joining me, I am also going to share a tool that helped shape the shift that I made in my life this year. So stay tuned to the end for that. If you told me this time last year that I would be where I am now, I would not have believed you. I was stuck in a corporate role that I had worked really hard to achieve, but that had left me creatively unsatisfied and deeply unhappy.
Hidden in the corners of my heart, a broken fragment scattered like the autumn leaves around, waiting to be found.
This all changed in February when my corporate career came to a close. You know, I was an artist before I had a corporate career, and it was always my plan to go back to being an artist full-time again. But what I discovered was that it wasn't just a simple swap. It was hard. I was deeply exhausted from years of high stress and full of self-doubt about the choices that I had made that had led me to this place in my life.
Maybe we can find a place for you and I and call it home. Even though we don't know what's ahead.
My art practice, which had been fit into the cracks and crevices between my demanding full-time job and my family, was suddenly centre stage, and I felt like I was starting from scratch all over again. Truthfully, I felt pretty intimidated by that. I was filled with a desire to live more meaningfully and in a way that more authentically reflected who I was. But to do that, I had to find myself again and to rediscover my passion and creativity. I felt enormous pressure to be an artist and put huge expectations on everything I made, and it didn't go very well. I tried capturing things out in the field, but where I struggled was how to translate those into a complete, finished work of art. The harder I tried, the more I failed. The harder I worked, the further away I felt from where I wanted to be. I had a sense of the art that I yearned to make, but I didn't know what that was or how to get there. So this is my studio graveyard. These represent some of the works that I started but did not complete this year. They represent my experiments and my failures, and there were a few of them. I didn't video a lot of this. It was too painful. And my inner critic, who is savage at the best of times, was positively brutal. I felt like a fraud who had blown up my life for nothing. I put so many expectations on myself at the beginning of the year. I was burned out. I needed rest. I needed to recuperate, and yet I fully expected myself to be back in the studio working full time. What I didn't know then was that all of these false starts and experiments were actually leading me to exactly where I needed to be. And the year wasn't all bad. Whenever I felt too overwhelmed with Fly by my side, I'd hit the trails with my sketchbook. Out there, I was in my comfort zone, and being immersed in the wild was profoundly healing.
So I follow my feet as far as I can, run like a river.
And while I kept telling myself that I was running away, what I was actually doing was honing my eye and my hand and preparing myself for what was to come. What I realised was the answer actually wasn't in my studio. It was out there in the wild.
I took off on a paper plane
because it was there in the wild that I found my deep inspiration and ultimately my path forward. I did some extension classes at the California College of the Arts, and that helped me tap into the art community, as well as giving me some constructive criticism which got me out of my own head. I had work in 5 exhibitions this year, and I sold some work as well. So there were some positives along with all this self-doubt. Over the summer, I went on multiple car camping and backpacking trips, which boosted my creativity and taught me to trust myself again. With each passing month, I can feel myself slowly uncramping and slowly unfurling, and slowly my creativity is starting to bloom again, and just slowly finding myself in a deeply profound and grounded way. I just feel myself coming back to life again in a way that I haven't felt in years, and I think I like it.
letting go.
I recommitted to living slowly and deeply, far from the hustle and fast pace of the tech industry, and I started to remember who I was, both for myself and as an artist. And from a combination of moments of starting and failing and playing and experimenting, my practice slowly started to emerge. While there were still moments of doubt and self-criticism, there were also glimmers of the way forward. This oil painting where I added sand for texture and lost myself in the gestures of making reminded me that painting is also a sculptural act. Explorations, tearing and folding and rejoining paper to make more three-dimensional forms found me manipulating canvas and adding paint. And many sketches and paintings and drawings, all these came together, and I found that I was where I'd wanted to be all along. I found myself and my voice, and I learned to trust myself creatively again. You know, if there was one thing I could say to myself at the beginning of last year, it would be to trust myself, to trust the doubt and trust the experimentation and trust that I would find a way through. And I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the year, but I think I would have been a lot happier. If you are also struggling with self-doubt and wondering what direction your work is going to go in, whatever kind of work that is, trust yourself and trust that you will know the way to go and you'll find a path through. I am so excited for the next year. I have 3 works to finish, which then I can photograph and start to get them out there in the world and see where they take me. Which brings me to next year and the activity that helps me tap into what was meaningful this year and my hopes and dreams for the next one. If you remember back to the beginning of the video, this is the tool that I mentioned that started me on the journey of this year. Last year I made this into a zine, which I shared with my broader team at our end of year on-site. This year I redesigned it as a fillable PDF and it's available as a download on my website, and I will put the link below. And if you're on my mailing list, you will already have an email with a link to this worksheet. So go check your junk mail if you haven't seen that. It features a series of sketches that I made this year, as well as some prompts to help get you thinking. And you can also print it out and fill it in by hand if that feels better for you. It's my gift to you for being here with me. I just hit 200 subscribers and I am beyond astonished and delighted and thankful to all of you for being here with me. I'm hoping next year to post more long form videos. I have one coming up soon that is looking at the sketching I did while we were traveling in Iceland, as well as a drawing expedition that I took to the south coast of Oregon. Wishing you all a peaceful close to what has been a pretty tumultuous year. May 2026 bring you joy, compassion for yourself and others, and the opportunity to stretch and grow creatively. And in the meantime, take care and bye for now.